Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Receivables Podcast. I am going to be your host today, Katalina Dawson, and I have two incredible guests with me this morning. I've got Alison Atkinson, who is the Director of Business Intelligence at Williams Fudge, and Amelia Anderson, who is also at Williams Fudge, but she is the Chief Strategy Officer. Welcome, both you guys. It is fantastic to have you on today. We're going to be talking a little bit about ACA Visionaries 2025. But before we jump into that, Alison, will you start with kicking it off, telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are today?
Sure, thanks. And thanks for having us, Catalina. We're very excited to be joining you today. Thanks for the invite.
My
Again, my
pleasure.
name is Alison, K.A. Allie. A lot of people know me as Allie Atkinson, so either one. I'll respond to either one. But I have been with Williams and Fudge for next year will be my 20th year, believe it or not. I started in this industry with this company, so I had zero knowledge about the collections industry whatsoever before I started with Williams and Fudge. Started as a collector on the dialer, and here I am 20 years later as the Director of Business Intelligence. So I've seen tons of changes in the last 20 years, and it has been a lot of fun. And I'm excited to watch what changes we have in store for us over the next 20 years.
Excellent. Amelia?
All right. Well, Allie has definitely more experience in the industry than I do. I joined the company about 8 years ago, and I like to say in my prior life, I was in the telecom industry. So I spent about 13 years there and started out in the call center there. So got my feet wet with a lot of things that are still relevant in the collections industry today. But I learn every day from peers like Allie who have been here I think since they're 12. I think she started here when she was 12, pretty sure. But lots of people with lots of tenure here at our company. So I met David through a volunteer opportunity. He's the owner of our company and worked with him some and knew right away if I ever had an opportunity to work with him professionally that I would love to take that. So that's how I got where I am today. And my role here involves a lot of cross-divisional work, just making sure that we're all kind of moving in the right direction and that every decision that we make rolls up and aligns with the bigger picture and corporate goals.
Excellent. Well, you both have two very rich careers within the industry, so I'm really excited about what you both have to say about a very important industry event. So I would love to hear from each of you. What excites you most about this year's ACA Visionaries Conference and the direction the industry is heading? Alison, would you like to kick us off with that one?
Sure. I usually joke that my title is Director of Business Intelligence, which I say is just a fancy term for like a closet nerd. So I'm kind of the go-between between the collection side and our IT department. And I think that's something that's happening in the industry as a whole right now is a lot of collaboration between IT or tech and the actual day-to-day activities of collections. So I'm very excited to hear about all the new technologies and how we're incorporating those in our day-to-day work.
Absolutely. Amelia?
Agreed. I think the thing that I look forward to most is really connecting with people, some that I've met in the past and connecting with new individuals in the space. I think ACA does an exceptional job of bringing people together and fostering those opportunities, and just look forward to being a part of that as we all continue to move forward together and in shaping the industry that we serve.
Yes, the connections you form at these conferences is very influential. And even more so with visionaries, I think, because it's a bit of a different structure than a lot of these different conferences where a lot of the sessions you sit and you're kind of more lectured at. Visionaries tends to have more of a workshop feel throughout the day. So you're talking and engaging with the people at your table and at other tables and throughout the room. I mean, last year we were getting up on our feet and doing all these different things together. So it does foster this really amazing sense of community at the
Agreed.
event.
I missed last year, so I was
Absolutely.
sad about that, but I have been 2 years prior and really just enjoyed the, I think, close-knit kind of experience that you have.
Mhm.
The engagement part and collaboration, it is different from larger events, but in a very positive way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I'm sorry, at larger events or larger conferences, you have all these questions in your head, but because the room's so full of people, you normally don't want to raise your hand and ask the question, even though 10 other people probably have that same question. But at Visionaries, you feel very comfortable asking the question when you have it and sparking that great conversation.
Absolutely. Now, we're kind of already diving into it, but I'd love to get kind of a Sparks Note version for anybody who hasn't attended Visionaries before or is even unaware of what it is. Can you give that like Spark Notes version about the event, what it's all about, and what you can expect?
Yeah, I think, really a high value opportunity that's focused a lot on conversations and connections just all around. So I think from the moment that you get there, you starting out with something like dinner with strangers. I really will never forget this. Allie was like, is this for real? I was like, it's for real. We're going to do it. And really, we were so glad that we did because it forces you to spend that quality time with people that you may not have otherwise connected with in a setting that's comfortable and natural.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Allison, anything you want to add to that?
I would agree with everything she said. It's kind of like it sounds bad to say there's forced interaction, but I think that's actually like a necessary evil. So it makes you
Yeah.
get out of your comfort zone and do things that you might not do in the larger groups. So that's what I enjoy most about the visionaries.
Absolutely. So, beyond the sessions, what do you think makes the conference experience extra special?
Good question. I think it probably, because of the size and the format, I think that it creates space for a little deeper, more meaningful discussion. Like Allie's saying, you feel comfortable with your group. You feel like you are among peers that you trust and respect, and you are. I mean, some of the best people in the industry are present there, and you have their time and attention in a way that I think I haven't ever experienced before.
Yeah. Now, if there's anybody who is new to ACA or just a new participant at Visionaries this year, what would you recommend for them to get the most out of this part of the conference?
I would say embrace all the things that you might at first say, is this for real? Like, do I really have to do this? Because even though it sounds like something you might not be interested in, I can promise you that you will absolutely enjoy it by the time you're done. So be
Hmm.
open to trying everything that they're offering because all of the events that are set up are there for a reason, and it will all make sense at the end.
Yes, including that dinner with strangers. I gotta
Yeah.
say, that's
Exactly.
honestly one of my favorite things that ACA does. The amount of
Yes.
people that I've met at the different dinner with strangers and become really close friends with is incredible. I always sign up, and Sammy Aho, who runs it, does an incredible job at it. She picks great restaurants, she mixes a great group of people, and you always meet somebody very interesting. I love it.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Agreed. And I would say I think a lot of us wear a lot of different hats. So, work and personal lives. So I think it's always easy to kind of feel a little bit torn or guilty, when you're taking time away from one realm to go serve in another. So I would just say my advice would be to try your hardest to be where your feet are fully and to know that those emails and packing lunches and all the other things that go along with that you're leaving behind, they're gonna be there when you get back. It's just a few days, and if you can embrace them fully and just be present for the moments, you will really take a lot away from the conference.
Yes. So I know both of you are actually speaking at Visionaries this year. Can you tell us a little bit about your session, what it's about, and what people can expect? Also, just tell us, why should attendees want to come to your session?
It's a great question. I'll let Allie start to sell it first.
You want me to be the first salesman?
That's right.
So, as I mentioned in the very beginning, there's a lot going on with technology right now, and one of the biggest ones, you can't go anywhere without hearing about AI, artificial intelligence. So our
Hmm.
session is going to be talking about AI in our industry, and not about how it is going to take over our jobs, but how it can be our partner in our jobs. So how we begin to embrace it, not fight it, and use it to our advantage. And that's kind of the short and sweet summary of what
Yeah.
we're going to be discussing.
Yep. I
Yeah.
know AI is really transforming the world that we live in. If you just take a moment to think about all the different ways that you're interacting, no matter where you are, personal and your professional life, there's definitely an AI component that's related. So, just knowing that everything is evolving rapidly and we are already immersed in an industry that moves quickly and is constantly
Hmm.
changing. So I think just being able to be flexible and adapt and adopt, but leverage the use of technology in a way that serves you well and honestly gives you time back to focus and contribute to things that really make a large impact in your role and also in your personal life.
Absolutely. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that we went through something extremely similar. The technological revolution of just having computers and everybody having a computer in their house versus just in offices, and everybody having a website suddenly and everything being online. And the people who got left behind are the people who didn't get a laptop, didn't learn how to do it, didn't create their own website or get somebody to help them create a website for their company and get into that digital age. This is just another step with that. So you don't want to be left behind. You don't want to be somebody who just doesn't want that digital fluency or digital literacy. The people who are going to stay on top of the ones who want to learn how to actually leverage that AI and not be as afraid of it. And there is a lot of like fear mongering around that type of technology currently. So learning how to use it safely and how to leverage it properly is so crucial. I personally am super excited to go see your session on this. This is going to be incredible information. So thank you both for taking the time to create a session on that. It's going to be incredible. I'm super excited to see it. But now I want to hear a little bit more about what you are looking forward to in terms of the sessions, or is it the dinner with strangers? Which piece of Visionaries are you most excited for?
That's a good one. I'm excited about your session too.
Thank you. Yeah, my session, for those of you who don't know, it's focused on future and building what's next through finding micro purposes in everyday goals and tasks and things that you're doing. The tagline we wrote for it was optimizing today with tomorrow in mind. So if
I love
anybody's
that.
interested in that one.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I think for me, it's probably the quality time. You have made connections in the past and you know that you're going to make some new connections. And I think that there's something about the in-person connection and collaboration that you can't get via Zoom or via email or even texting. You may stay in touch with some of these people in different ways, but the quality time in person together is, I think, what I'm most excited about.
Yeah, I would agree. Just to expand on that, I think getting other people's fresh new ideas, because we tend to get very siloed. Amelia and I talk all the time and we think we're creative and we have all the best ideas, but we don't. Other people do have ideas that we can build on. And when you're able to do that in person, you not only hear their ideas, but in conversation, you're like, yeah, and what if you did this? And the other person can come back and say, yeah, oh yeah, and let's add in this. And so just the ongoing collaboration between the groups is what I'm really looking forward to.
Absolutely. So last year they did this very unique thing where we all had name tags and you did fill it out with your name, but you also got to pick the specific type of name tag you had. And it had a prompt on each one. It's like, I am thinking about blank. I'm curious about blank, or I would like to talk about blank. So it was all different
That's
types like
neat.
that. And people would fill it out. And it was so interesting because then when we got to like the lunch break and the reception, it was such an incredible conversation starter as you're meeting somebody new. It wasn't just like, what's your company and what's your position? It was like, oh, that's very interesting. I love that you're thinking about AI adoption right now. What are your current thoughts on that? And it sparked so many really interesting conversations. So, and I feel like that's what they always try to foster Visionaries, is that exact, and you guys have been talking about it. It's that collaboration and networking and just bringing everybody together almost forcibly. So,
It's kind of like
but
a
Yeah, it's
dating
like it's
profile, I guess, if you think about it. You're like, hey, this is me, this is what I'm into. And then, it gives somebody that information up front and opens the door for great
yes,
yeah,
conversations.
we can be professionals without all the pressure of being professionals, you know?
absolutely. Now, if you could leave everyone or our listeners one reason that they cannot afford to miss Visionaries 2025, what would that be?
Well, I would
Mm.
say that it is absolutely a unique conference and experience. And if you are looking for something that's going to leave you energized and provide you with some new insight and connections and direction, really for the future, all around in your life, personal and professional, this is definitely the conference for you.
Allison?
Well, my first answer would be you can't afford to not miss mine and Amelia's session, of course, because it's going to be so awesome. And
Yes.
Catalina's too. And Catalina's, you can't afford to miss hers either. No, I'm just kidding. I would have to agree with Amelia and just say you can't afford to miss the collaboration that you're going to get with the smaller groups, the new ideas you'll take back, the conversations that you have, and the friendships that you'll make.
Both incredible answers. And I'm going to piggyback off that and say if you're already attending ACA Fall Forum, why not? It's
Why not?
one more day. You're already coming all the way out here. The sessions are rich. The networking is deep. Why not? Why not just spend one more day, especially in beautiful Chicago? Now, I will admit I am a little biased. Chicago is my home, but Chicago in fall is gorgeous. And we've got great restaurants, so great place to come be. It's one extra day, and there's a lot of incredible information and networking to be had. Any last minute thoughts from either of you about Visionaries 2025?
I don't think so. We've touched on a lot in these 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than we're
All
going to have to reach
right.
out to you for some suggestions on things to do and see in Chicago, because we're not
Happy
native
to.
Chicagoans. So
I
Yes,
have
absolutely.
I
Reach out
started
to
a little
me.
note in my phone the other day, so I have hyperlinks to some places that I want Allie and I to be able to explore. We might let you look over that list and reorganize it, prioritize it.
Happy to.
yeah,
Absolutely. Well, thank you to all of our listeners. We really hope you get a chance to check out Visionaries 2025. And if you don't, remember, you can always sign up for next year. Keep looking forward, and we hope to see you there. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thanks
Bye.
so much for having us. See
see
ya.
ya.